Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His tone was exotic. It was deep and mesmerizing. I had recorded a lot of people in my time, professional singers and so on, but Swamiji was especially captivating, infectious. He was born to do this. I wrote to, who was it? To Mahatma Prabhu and Kavi Chandra Swami. I was just telling him how much fun I've been having here in Copenhagen, going out on Harinam, doing these programs, associating with the devotees. And they both said to me, "You were born to do this." I won't go too much longer, but anyway, I want to finish this part. They soon returned to the studio, ready to record. Swamiji sat, okay, we read that already. So Swamiji did about 6 different songs, he continues. So this is the SK0, what they call SK0 was the cassette. But the Samsara Dava Nalalita Loka Pranaya Karanya Ganatman. That recording. Swamiji, okay, so he continues. He did about 6 different songs, traditional stuff from his lineage, but most of it didn't make it on the album. Oh, that's interesting. The tapes are lying around in a studio archive somewhere. Whoa. Great stuff. We were mainly interested in the Hare Krishna chant, though, which was becoming popular at that time. I need to write to Satyaraj to find out if those... You know, it's just like, you know, when the Beatles had stuff that didn't get on the album, it's like people want to hear that. Mm-hmm. So, what to speak of?
Coleman, is he still living?
Oh, that's a good question. I think maybe he is, a very old man now. Mm-hmm. But I'll ask Satyaraj, I have his email. Satyaraj doesn't give his email out to many people. I have it, and when he writes back to me, it's like 1 sentence, or he's really to the point. Most concise writer that I know. So, Rupanuga shares some further details of this recording session. A man came around to check instruments to see how the microphones picked them up and what the sound quality was like. I played 2 bells that sort of sounded like kartals. Hayagriva was playing tambura. Roy Ram played those South American wooden sticks. Kirtanananda played the harmonium, loaned to us by Allen Ginsberg, but he just pumped the bellows. He didn't really know how to play. So it's just a drone. You hear that. And Swamiji played that 2-headed Indian drum so incredibly. There were others too. I remember Brahmananda was clapping too loud, so an engineer came in to adjust the volume. We just kept playing, following Swamiji's lead. When we went over time, Coleman from the engineer's booth waved his hand to indicate that we should start wrapping it up. So Swamiji saw that and started going faster. Satsarup Das Goswami affords readers greater detail in his Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Alan came out of the studio. "It was great, Swami, great. Would you like to just go right ahead and read the address now? Or are you too tired?" With polite concern, pale, befreckled Alan Coleman peered through his thick glasses at Swamiji, Prabhupada, who appeared tired. But he replied, "No, I am not tired." Then the devotee sat back in the studio to watch and listen as Prabhupada read his prepared statement. After reading it, the producer tells Srila Prabhupada that they have about 10 more minutes on side 2 to fill. He again asks Srila Prabhupada if he is tired. Prabhupada says that he isn't. And they start to chant again. This time he sang what was titled on the album as Chant to the Mercy of the Spiritual Master. We know it as the Samsara Prayers. After that song, which was done in 1 take, Srila Prabhupada said, "Now we are tired." The night was over. However, as the studio engineer replayed the take, Srila Prabhupada stood up and started to dance to the song. The devotees, Srila Prabhupada stood up and started to dance to the song, The Devotees, and he had just recorded. "Now you have made your best record," Prabhupada told Mr. Coleman. Prabhupada told Mr. Coleman as he left the studio for the freezing Manhattan evening. Prabhupada got into the front seat of the Volkswagen bus while the Hare Krishna chanters climbed into the back, because that's what they were billed as. The Hare Srila Prabhupada and the Hare Krishna chanters. They climbed into the back with their instruments, and Rupanuga drove them back home, back to the Lower East Side. It is rarely mentioned that this record was, in a sense, the beginning of ISKCON's widespread book distribution in the West. Although Swamiji had brought his initial printing of the Srimad Bhagavatam from India, he only had very few copies, which he sold early on when the movement was just starting out. A small book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, and several pamphlets were brought from India, too. But not enough for wide-scale distribution, which is what Swamiji wanted. It was this album that was sent to Macmillan Publishing Company, leading to a publishing deal that resulted in Swamiji's Bhagavad Gita as it is. Do you know that story, briefly? There was one man who was working for the Macmillan Publishing Company, and on Macmillan letterhead, he wrote asking for a copy of this record album. So Prabhupada was trying to get his Bhagavad Gita published, and he was having difficulty finding someone who would do it. So Prabhupada told Brahmananda, you dress in a nice suit and tie, and you take this record album, you deliver it to him personally, but you also bring the manuscript of Bhagavad Gita and say, we also have this to publish. So when he got there, the fellow was buying the record, but just at that time, the head of the publishing department walked in, because this guy really had nothing to do. He didn't have any big position in the company. But just at that time, the publishing agent and the fellow who was buying the record introduced him. He's our head. He's in charge, the manager of our publishing department. And then Brahmananda immediately picked the cue and he said, oh, well, my spiritual master has just finished translating the Bhagavad Gita, and he's looking for a publisher. And the manager said, oh, very good. He said, we publish all the religious books of the world, but we don't have anything on Hinduism, and I was looking for a Bhagavad Gita, so we'll definitely publish it for you. So probably completely, he knew that this was all going to be arranged. Because, anyway. Yeah, so it's the last paragraph here. So, very quickly. Further, George Harrison had procured a copy early on, contacting Coleman personally to find out about legality and copyright, so he could use it on Apple's Radha Krishna Temple album, and eventually in his own song, My Sweet Lord. This led to George's endorsement of Swamiji's Krishna book, which along with Sri Ishopanishad, Nectar of Devotion, and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, were his first 5 books, all released after the Happening album. Indeed, because of the work of Alan and Carol Coleman, spurred on by the grace of Swamiji, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra was heard on radio stations, TV shows, and found in popular media around the world before massive book distribution engulfed ISKCON and everyone else. So that's really interesting. We should never underestimate the power of the spoken word or sound vibration. Do our brahmacharis, do we also distribute CDs?
Not right now, but
Okay.
because actually CDs are pretty much out.
Oh, excuse me, I'm still speaking in old technology.
Yeah.
DVDs?
That they're also out.
Oh. Is there any way to give people sound?
I mean, there's.
The
we have,
internet.
yeah, I mean, you can always give internet. Everything is on the internet nowadays, so
Right.
you can find. I'm working on making the Bhagavad Gita as an audiobook, just reading
nice.
and like
In
that.
in Danish.
Danish, yeah.
Very good.
And
Are you recording with Yadunanda?
yeah, he gave me a very good microphone that I've recorded on. And I
Having
was.
some music playing in the back a little bit?
You haven't got that far. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it should be.
Something soft.
Yeah. There's some rock.
Something that's not distracting.
Yeah, and I was looking for these like these pen drives you had. Maybe you could put on them and then sell those.
That's what I was just thinking, yeah.
Yeah, and
Give them a little sample, let them listen.
Yeah,
to a few
so we're
things.
investigating DVDs, but I mean, even nowadays, all the new computers have no DVD drives anymore.
Wow.
I mean, we are, you know.
Yeah, it's all Bluetooth or?
Yeah, and
Blu-ray.
Pen drives and more pen drives.
I don't know what
Yeah.
is Blu-ray.
More or less pen drives.
yeah, and then
Isn't it only these iPads or that doesn't have? I mean, normal computers they have DVD and CD.
not the new ones necessarily. I mean, some have, some don't, but it's fading out. It's because nowadays everyone have it on their mobile phones, smartphones, and they have everything there.
Maybe take this Hare Krishna mantra from the Happening album and give the Danish translation on the pen drive. Just a thought. But yeah, people love music. So it's another way of preaching. Because some people may not be so much interested in that much philosophy, but everyone loves music.
We distributed a lot of records and CDs in the previous
Mhm.
times like that, but
Mhm.
I mean, kind of.
But another side to that is actually Proverbs. You know, once book distribution went on, and you always were also making records and selling that more.
Right.
Proverbs didn't really. I mean, at
Well, it's not that we want to replace book
No,
distribution.
no. I mean, it's probably, but here probably, of course, was referring to kind of like modern music with some Krishna constant lyrics and like that. And they're probably like say that people will not understand. They'll just think it's a magical sound that they'll not really, and they'll just hear it and then. So.
Yeah, I think he was saying that because maybe there was too much emphasis and not.
Yeah, with the book. Yeah.
Because he also told Mangalananda he said the devotees are not encouraging me with this Change of Heart album that he had recorded all Krishna conscious songs. Prabhupada said, no, do it, it'll be a success.
Okay, that was made during Prabhupada's time.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's different instructions,
Yeah.
different circumstances. The next part of the book, which I think, I understand we run out of time, but it talks all about the beginnings of Back to Godhead magazine.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a really nice book. I ordered it from Amazon. And it's like an expansion on the Prabhupada Limamrita. So if you want to, what do we do now?
I think you serve prasad. if
That
it's
sounds
okay.
practical.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You must be hungry if you had, or
Oh, something.
you had something during the day.
Something. I think one of those kugel off. It's not much. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, because you said